Addison, the host with the most, and I have today my very special guest, Mr. Ricardo Scott. And this young man has a very unique survival story that I feel the world needs to hear. So, Mr. Ricardo Scott, thank you for being here as one of my guests, and also tell the people who you are and also a bit about your survival story.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
And we go back and forth.
Absolutely.
So Ricardo Scott, who is Ricardo Scott?
Tell us.
Ricardo Scott is a humble guy, and I always strive to be that. Even in my work and whatever I do, I want people to see the humbleness inside me. As for my story, I need to get into this. All right, so I can say it. I had cancer when I was 14. And thank you very much. Yes, I surely did. And what I'm going to say right now is just to encourage whoever is going through something like this or similar. So at the age of 14, how I found out that I had cancer is in Jamaica, and I was driving in a taxi, and it was me and my mother, and we were playing. She accidentally hit my neck, and it started hurting like really hard. Like if somebody else hit you, they wouldn't hurt like that. So she, out of concern, she brought me to the hospital. So when we were at the hospital, they didn't know exactly what to do. So what they did, they sent us to like a specialist. So what the specialist did, they did a biopsy where they cut like half of the little lump that was there, and they tested it. Came back with the news, they said it was cancer. That moment for me as a kid, I didn't really care. I really didn't, honestly. My mom, she was shedding tears like a waterfall. So what we had to do almost immediately, we had to go and do our treatment, which is something they call vacuum radiation, where I have to go under this big machine and I have to sit there flat, can't move, where they use some red markers, mark the area of where it was. And they told us that what this is going to do is going to burn out good cells and bad cells. The process is going to last months. So being under that thing for like at least 6 months straight, it gave me a lot of side effects. The biggest one out of all of them was I couldn't eat or drink for like 40 and almost the entire time, like 6 months. So being not able to eat or drink, I was like draining. It's like I can just see the flesh that's getting smaller and smaller and the bones are revealing. I remember one time looking in the mirror and I lifted up my shirt and I literally saw the ribs. So I could have almost cut all of them. It was that bad. So we had to take a break from all that. Went back home and we came back another time. Then I met a friend there. She was awesome. That's probably the first friend I remember ever had, especially going through something like that. And she was going through similar, only thing she had in her womb. I remember coming back and I was literally looking for her because I was excited to go see. I'm actually excited. Who's excited to go do a treatment? But I was excited to go there and just to see her because we going through this similar thing and we could talk. Knowing that I was looking for her one day and I could not find her, I was asking everybody where she was. To find out she passed away. So I went back into my solo self, meaning not talking to anybody anymore, and I'm all to myself. My mom was there, grandma, and all these people. They always encouraging me. I really appreciate that. But at the time when they were talking to me, I pretended like I didn't care. But deep down I did, because when I'm to myself, I always reflect on it. Correct.
Important.
It is. Encouraging helps. If you're going through anything in life and people try to encourage you, especially some people who might have something similar to what you're going through, that definitely helps a whole lot. So after all of that, I remember I have to go to see this doctor privately, and he told me and my mom that I don't think you're going to survive for like a week. So So my mom is very sensitive to stuff like that. But you know what? We have a big, great, wonderful God that we serve. Okay? So they can say this, but God can say this. They say yes, God say no.
Absolutely.
Okay. See, my story, that's exactly what happened. Alright, so my mom talked to her church, and they all went on fasting and prayer for a week. Knowing they don't even know me, but they didn't care. They know that God is able to do anything. Okay? So after all of that, a week has passed, still alive, and they told us that everything is fine.
The doctors?
The doctors,
The
same one, everything is fine. Yes. And then we still have to do regular checkups. Anyways, I remember fast forwarding, we came to the state. Because when we were doing checkups, like monthly checkups, all the doctor was doing was feeling the areas. That's it. Oh, you're good. That was it.
Wow.
So I think like a year or two after that, we came to the state. At least I came to the state because my parents are already here. So I came to the state, and then immediately we started signing up for clinics, doctors, so that we can continue doing their checkups. Thank God we came here the time I did. Because when I went to the doctor here, it was an ENT doctor, ear, nose, and throat. So he did a checkup on me, a blood checkup, which they never did back. Oh,
Wow.
imagine under all these checkups, they never did a blood one. Anyways, they did a blood checkup and they tested my thyroid levels. They told me that my thyroid level was like almost 400. Okay. He said a normal thyroid level should be at least 4.
Like the number 4.
Number 4. I was almost 400. The doctor said, sir, son, I don't know how you're standing right now. That's what he told me. Honestly, when I was here in the States, before I did the blood work and everything, I used to have a lot of suicidal thoughts. I really did. I really truly did. I didn't know how, I didn't know why, but I always try to fight it. I didn't tell anybody, but I always try to fight it. But I was wondering what? I'm not that type of person. I'm not a emo kid. I'm not that type. I love anime, cartoon. I'm that type of person. So I don't know why these thoughts are, and they feel real. What I like want to hang myself, all these things, like what is going on? And so fast forward after blood work and all that stuff, I found out what the problem actually was. Thyroid can mess you up. You have to have good thyroid level. I mean, it affects people differently, but that's how it affected me. It's not pretty. So they gave me this thing called levothyroxine. It's kind of like a pill that you have to take, and they raise the level really high. Yeah, they say your level is really high. So I've been taking those pills for like roughly 7 years. The last time I've done a checkup, I was almost normal.
Awesome. Give God thanks.
Absolutely, because one thing I can say is like going through all these things, meeting all these people, it's just, I can't make this stuff up. It's only God. Honestly. Because knowing myself before the treatment and all that, I was a kid who always go to church. Always go to church. But I was going to church because all my parents did. You have to go to church. I've done it all. I have taken off one shoes, throw it away to tell them I can't find one pair of shoes. You going to church. One pair or no pair, you going.
That's the making parents for you.
So that's how I was brought up.
That's true.
And but here's the thing, keep the consistently going to church and all that. It's instilling you. There gotta be a message here somewhere that you gotta remember. You know what I mean?
And we give God thanks for that survival story, because honestly, a lot of people would not have survived that and have not survived that. So I'm happy that you're here, to encourage others, of what you have overcome. So let me ask you this: you were 14,
yes,
at the time, so you didn't have, so you pretty much were balancing on your parents' faith, but you must have had some faith in there somewhere to help you to survive it. So how did your faith, even if it was as small as a mustard seed, how did your faith help you to overcome this time?
My faith activated, I can say activated, like a little after the doctor told me about I have like a week or so. Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of like this. This is like kind of like when Jesus was on the cross and the two thieves was on the side, and Jesus started talking to them and they started revealing like, "Hey man, please forgive my sin" and all that. It's kind of how it was because I feel like I was about to go, you know. So I have to like click in some activation right there. So that's kind of what I did. And I remember after all this treatment, everything was coming back to normal. I went to church, and it was a fasting service. I was in the second bench, and I remember just praising God, praising like I've never done before. Tears were flowing. Praise and worship was already over. I was like 10 minutes still worshiping God by myself. And right there and then, the pastor came over and said, "I believe you're saved, son."
Wow.
And right there, and from then on, that's where I start my mission. I'll never stop. And I always go from there.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. So what advice would you give to someone that's going through the same thing that you are going through? Whether they're a teenager or an adult, what advice would you give to them?
Oh, absolutely. Advice, please. Don't give up on God. Because He don't give up on you. That's like the greatest advice I can give to you. Also, people who are there to encourage you, listen. Because you don't want to push them away. Because if you push them away, you're going to have nobody. And when you're going through pain and agony, the thoughts that's coming to your mind is never really good. Because it's pain. You need people who truly love you. Don't push them away.
Even though you can't love yourself at that time.
Exactly. You need them. Trust me.
That's
You need
amazing.
them.
So Mr. Scott is actually a graphic designer. He does all my shirts. That's on the Sprinkle of Jesus website. And he does such an amazing job. So Mr. Ricardo Scott, tell us what inspired you after all that you've been through to become a graphic designer.
Alright, so inspired me to be a graphic. Honestly, I never thought I would become a graphic artist.
Okay.
So in Jamaica, when I was going to high school, I was always good in computers. That was my passion from the get-go. I was okay in math. I was English, no. And social studies, all that was okay. But computer was the thing. To be honest, I wanted to become a computer engineer. That was kind of what I wanted. So when I came to the state, go through all that stuff, came to the state, I went to a technical school. You probably know it, Federal Tech. Well, anyways, I went to that technical school, and I was looking through the programs they had there. So I was looking on the computer side. I didn't know they had that much programs at times. In Jamaica, you don't have that much options. Here, you have so much option, and it keeps growing. Some reason, graphic arts jump at me. I just look at it, and I already know that was it. No idea what it was.
That's purpose right there.
Nothing. I said, this is what I'm going to do.
That's purpose revealed.
Yes, it really did.
That's amazing.
At the time, I didn't know all that stuff. I went there blank as a page. Nothing.
Okay.
God, trust me.
Just like that.
I can't make this stuff up.
Wow, that's amazing. So, as you know, we are going through what the media calls COVID-19. They're calling it a pandemic, but I'm calling it a pandemic because God has other plans for His people. So, has the COVID-19 affected your business, your graphic design business?
Affected? No. More like elevated.
So, it propelled your business?
Oh, absolutely.
How so? How would you say it propelled your business?
Honestly, people just come to me. I don't have to do much. See, when you have God by your side, man, no matter what problems or whatever is going around, you're always good. God got your back all the time, peeps. And no matter how you might seem or feel, still trust in the Lord, and He'll always put you in a place that you never thought you would ever be.
That's amazing. Awesome. So, it's all, we like to be serious and, all that stuff. What are some of your favorite food?
Okay.
And what do you do for fun? What are some of your favorite food? I know you're Jamaican. I'm Jamaican. So what are some of your favorite food that you like to eat?
I love oxtail.
Okay.
That's number one.
Oxtail.
I do love my chicken, but oxtail is definitely come first.
What about the Jamaican national dish? Are you a favorite?
Honestly, it's kind of up and down with me. I try to sample other stuff. I'm not just only Jamaican. I try to sample other type of nationalities and stuff like that. But I still like my oxtail.
That's good. So you heard it, oxtail.
Yeah,
so let me ask you this: what do you do for fun?
Fun.
Outside of graphic designing, you're sitting at a computer all the time. What do you do for fun? What does
Honestly.
Ricardo like to do?
Alright, for fun, I like to play tennis.
That's rich man sport, okay.
Hey, I love playing tennis. I love messing with my niece. She hates it, but I love it.
Brittany?
That's her. Oh, yeah, you, Brittany.
Yeah.
So I love messing with you, and I just love taking out my parents to the movies and just bring them out.
So you're pretty much a family person.
Yes,
So family is fun for you. That's
Yes.
amazing. Alright, so Ricardo, it's been great having you here, but also I know one thing, you are big on encouragement. He's always encouraging me. He's always doing his Facebook Live, encouraging me. He sends us different WhatsApp messages, inspiring us with the word. So just leave us with a quick encouragement before you go. Just leave us, tell us something to encourage us.
Alright, so for everything that I'm talking about, and I've proved God over and over and over again, is that everything I will talk about is just really just trusting the Lord. It's plain and simple, because there's nothing too hard for God.
True.
And I know sometimes it's not easy, especially when you're going through something that you just feel like you just want to give up and all that stuff.
Especially now.
Trust me, I can share one more quick testimony.
Go ahead.
When I was in school, right, graphic arts, and I was the slowest in my class, and how I learned or how I developed my skills was when we did like a little project, I would try to compete with everybody else. Here's the kicker. I was so slow that the teacher came over and said to me, "Son, I don't think you belong in this class." Now, this teacher come up to me hourly to say something like that to my face, knowing that I have to pay all this money every other month or so, right? To tell me that. I don't know if he thought I was gonna get up and run out or whatever. I proved this guy wrong. We had a project to do a movie poster. Alright, so this movie poster, I didn't know what to do. I went home and never slept that night. I was up watching YouTube, Google, whatever it is to make this movie poster right. The next day, when I've already completed, I didn't sleep. The next day, I went to school with my movie poster design in my hand, ready to show this teacher. Nervous, but ready. I show the teacher. Everybody, the same one, yes. I show the same one. Everybody have to present their project, blah, blah, blah. And then I showed him, everybody sit down. He called my name, he said he wanted me to come up to the front of the class. Turn around, and he showcased my movie poster, and he said to everybody, "This is what a movie poster should look like." From there on, this guy have nothing but respect for me. And if I go there right now, he will probably still have that movie poster to showcase other graphic artists who come in and learn graphic.
Listen here, though, here's the kicker. What the enemy meant for bad, God will turn it around for good. So that's the word from this. What the enemy meant for bad, God will turn it around for your good. So again, Mr. Ricardo Scott, thank you for coming to the Mimi Patterson Show. I appreciate you. I love you. Even though we fight sometimes when you're doing our designs, but you know what?